If you're afraid there's a scary caller, just hang up. Just hang up. Don't let them affect you. Just dial, just, one call at a time. You can do it. This is something I'm just noticing now that I called this person twice. When you do pull a list from neighborhood search, and let's just say, because the way I do it is I do a little polygon according to the neighborhood, because when you're going to cold call, I'm assuming you're going to want to call and within like 20, 30 minutes of your house. So you're going to know the areas, you're going to know the neighborhoods. It's like knowing your backyard. I'm not going to know anything about Miami, and Miami's an hour south of me. And I'm not going to know anything about Palm Beach. That's north of me, but I definitely know what's going on around me. So when I separate them from Mojo and the neighborhood search, I put them according to a neighborhood. When you go and dial that neighborhood, before you do that, click on the button that says duplicates, because you want to delete people, because if there's like absentee owners or people that own more than one property, let's just pretend they have 5 properties, and you'd be surprised how many people actually own where they live. You're going to call them like 5 times that one day, and that will seriously piss them off. So just make sure, like, if it's a fresh new list and you haven't touched it yet and you're going to start going through it, and so let's just say there's 1,000 people in that list, click on duplicates, select phone number. That's what we're looking for, is the phone number. We don't want to call the same phone number more than once. So just click phone number, it'll go through it, and then just delete some of the duplicates. I'm not that picky as far as who I get selected. Most of the time, I just delete the ones who maybe don't have an email address. Saying duplicates, yeah, just make sure you go through duplicates, and I just delete, and I'm not too picky, because it's just thousands and thousands and thousands of people I have to call. It's not that big of a deal if I axe like 500 at the end of the day, because duplicates, you'll only get like anywhere from 10 to 30 in a list of 1,000. So it's not that big of a deal. And make sure to always have water, because I've been talking all day. I've been nonstop, not cold calling like this, but just like handling deals, meetings, emails, texts, this, that, whatever. It's been crazy. Next number. Okay. I know Jeremy Miner once said something about hot tea. I can't do hot tea. It's just not my thing. Although he does say try not to do cold water, and it was a mistake. I put some ice cubes. Normally I just do room temperature all the way, just so that way your vocal cords don't get tight when you're talking, because otherwise you get frog voice. Kind of like how I am right now. And most days I get a lead, or at least lately. I know yesterday was a bit rough, but that's okay, because it was Monday. Mondays can be rough. And I hate the fact that I said long shot. I gotta get that out of my script. That's not working for me. But at least she was cool and didn't bite my head off. Sometimes from my experience, I feel like people who have very, very expensive homes, sometimes when they have very expensive homes, they can be very cutthroat and dry with you. And sometimes I can break through with them. My trick maybe is like, you have to meet them where they're at. So if they're just cut and dry, you just have to be cut and dry with them too. There is no laughing involved. And sometimes it's like, what do you call it? I feel like 2 bulls hitting, and then like they eventually back down, and then they like bend, and then they're like, oh, you're really good. How long have you been doing this for? Kind of thing. Like they end up respect. Like, I think you have to like earn their respect and not come across salesy. I think that's the best way when it comes to like very expensive homes. So if you have a neighborhood or a building or whatever that tends to be a bit more luxurious in your, like, compared to the average, usually just being a bit more direct, quick, because they're business people and they're money makers and time is everything. So for people like that, you just have to kind of be a bit more, not cold, but ain't gonna be so like giggly, laughy kind of thing. Oh, I thought they were gonna pick up. Hi, Kai. Hey, I got yelled at today. Ha ha. Oh, I know, it happens. I got yelled at like crazy yesterday. oh, well, next is my attitude. I've had that attitude for some time now. I used to do that a lot when I used to work at Viking River Cruises at a call center, and we had inbound leads, which is totally different. Warm inbound leads is 100%, like 180 compared to outbound cold calling. So even though I have like sales experience in cold call center, it's nothing like this. So if don't even, oh yeah, outbound cold calling. So like if you've never cold called, don't even think like, oh, I have no call center experience or cold calling. Like you do not need to have, it doesn't matter if you think you're the hottest, like, salesperson in some other industry. It's too difficult to say that outbound cold calling is easy or the same, because it's not. It's like totally different. It's a whole different strategy, a whole different way. Even for like calling FSBOs and expireds is way different than circle prospecting. But for myself, I don't call FSBOs and expireds. That's exactly why I titled this like no FSBOs, no expireds, because I get that question almost on the daily. Like, do you call? No, I don't. I circle prospect. It's just straight up calling everybody off the phone book. Just going like A to Z, everyone in the entire city. What do you do when someone picks up and you can't pronounce their name? Sometimes I hang up. If it's really, really bad, I'll hang up. There's like a split second where my mind has to make a decision. Because if you'll notice, sometimes it's like a husband and a wife. And if I know it's the husband that answered and it's probably him, but then I could probably announce the wife, I'll say the wife's name and then I'll go, oh, you're not her. And then they're like, no, who is this? I'm like, oh, are you the husband? So sometimes I have to pivot that way. Or otherwise, just pretend like you're confused. You're like, oh my God.
Has been forwarded to voicemail.
Oh my God, I think I might have the wrong number. Is this the owner of blah, 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 blah address? Like, just pretend you're lost and confused. I mean, like, yeah, what do you want kind of attitude? Like, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. Like, I'm so sorry. And then just kind of go into it. Otherwise, just hang up. I hang up sometimes. It was really, really, really bad. And I'm not in the right mindset to think so quick on my feet. I just hang up. I'm like, next. I think that's the part that most realtors have to realize. I think we just put way too much weight on every single pickup. And you don't have to. I understand if you were to pay for a list of like 200 people and you got to make those 200 work and you're like desperate for money and need a commission check and every single conversation is heavily weighted and you're like, are you sure, sir, you don't want to? Hello, Claire. Are you sure you don't want to sell your house even if you got the best offer? And you're like convincing them to list the home with you. That's totally opposite when it comes to circle prospecting. And I kind of feel that's maybe how it feels when you call. See, even when that happens, I don't like that. Because that's more of a call that just got forwarded or redirected elsewhere. So I hang up on that. I may be wrong, but that's from my experience. What was I saying? I totally blanked out on what I was saying. Oh yeah, FSBOs expired. I feel like sometimes, there's only a certain amount of expireds and only a certain amount of FSBOs that come on the market. And those agents who completely go after market, it's more like this is it. Either I convince this homeowner to list their house with me or I'm out. And it's just too much weight to be calling FSBOs expires and to have that. And that's why you end up having this like eager desperation commission kind of feeling about you. Whereas when you circle prospect, you have too many people to call, too many leads, and you have to
has been forwarded to
you have to sift through. So if you can't pronounce their name or if you're not feeling it or this person's yelling, you're like, click. Honestly, if you get yelled at, just move on. Just click next, click next, click next, click next. I just started, so I'm giving myself a lot of pressure to just get one deal I can feel like when just one deal too. So I can feel like this will work. Yeah, I would say that's way too much pressure. You're putting way too much pressure on yourself.
Please leave a message after the
In fact, I always tell people you're not going to get any results on this right away. You're just not. I mean, this is a long-term game. Unless you plan on being in this business for the next 5 to 10 years, I wouldn't recommend for anyone to necessarily invest so much time and money and effort, and more importantly, anxiety and stress. Like this for me is long-term. I now own my own brokerage, and this is like, honestly, had no other option. Like there is absolutely no way I'm going and getting a different job or opening up another business. When it comes to real estate, this is my end. Like I don't have another option. So this has to work regardless of how long it will take. So even my husband and I were like, even if it takes 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years for me to figure this out, like I'm all in. So if you're trying to get like one deal to make it work right now, I hate to say it, but you might just be one of the 9 out of 10 people that leave the industry, that come in and leave, because then you're not completely committed to like doing everything possible, even if you don't see a check for 12 months. If you don't see a check for 12 months and you're still like, screw it, I'm not leaving, I'm going to make this work, then you're going to make it work. So you have to come like to a realization moment for yourself. Because I will tell you, this is not easy. In 2023, I made $15,000.
call has been
Because of that, I kept my head down for months and months and months and worked my ass off to make 101,000 GCI for 2024, which was last year. So just, this isn't like it's going to work tomorrow. So you got to let that pressure go. How do you know that he's already listed for sale? I clicked on Zillow. If you use Mojo, most people don't know this, and I actually stumbled upon it. On your Mojo dialer, there's this 2 little buttons. It looks like a logo. It's a Zillow logo and a Google Maps logo, and they're actually buttons. So if you click on Zillow, it'll pull up and it'll say when they sold, if they're pending, if it's available for sale, or if it's just completely off the market. Oh yeah, thank you. There's a link to Zillow and Mojo. Oh, I didn't know that. Yep, it's right there. I'm in the same boat. I'm going all in, but at the same time, I'm the sole provider, so I still need to pay the bills. Same. I'm the same. It's me. So unless I'm making money, it's difficult to pay the bills and keep the lights on. So believe me, I get it. And there is no going back to a regular job, unfortunately. And I don't work another job. I know some do and some have a part-time job. I don't have that luxury, unfortunately. I wish I could do it. And maybe, yeah, but if I do that at this point in the game, I would totally set myself back, and there's no point because I've worked my ass off to get where I am. But yeah, keep your head down. Keep your head down, and you got to focus and work like it's your 9 to 5. I work from 9 a.m. to 10:30 p.m. every day. So it's a lot, unless you're willing to sacrifice, a lot of your lifestyle. It's any entrepreneur, any business you're trying to build. It takes a lot of sweat, blood, and tears. How many leads have you acquired since you started the challenge? It's been very fun to watch. Oh, you're so sweet, Kristen. Since April 1st. Good question. I'll pull it up for you. Sorry. We can't. We have kids. That makes 2 jobs a huge sacrifice. I'm in the same. I'm the same. I have 2 kids. I have a house, 2 dogs, and all the responsibility. Lead generating for the last 4 years has been a lot. So it's the housekeeping, the cooking, the cleaning, all of the maintenance, the children, the dogs, my business, my clients, myself, and here I am generating all day. I get it. I don't have another job. It's all on me. How come you don't leave voicemails? I've never experimented with it. I could probably, I just don't know. I mean, number one, I don't answer my phone really, right? Because so many people call me back. 190 contacts. And this is for the month. This is like my baseline. This is my goal every month, 350. And then my goal for the month is 25. So you can see down the middle, since today is April 15th, in order to be halfway, I would need to have one more, or like, I guess 2 more. And then my appointment set is 3 of 6, or excuse me, go on 6. I've had 3 already. And I have 2 listings already. I actually should call Mojo and be like, can I add my listings onto here? So that's where I'm at for this month, which is kind of low. I guess because I've been going every day, it's pretty much on point as far as where I should be and where I want to be. Oh, we talked about this. Yes, that's actually the hardest thing. I totally get it. You really put everything. I will say I've had savings, thank God, from my previous job, so it kept us afloat. But it is very hard. But we were like, we're going all in full time. We just didn't have another option. Oh yeah, voicemails. Oh yeah, that was my next question. How do you handle people who call you back from a missed call during your prospect? I put myself on do not disturb. When it's on do not disturb, it doesn't throw me off my game when I'm actually dialing. But if they do call me after that, they call me after the fact, then sometimes I do answer and sometimes I don't. But for the most part, I actually do, what's it called? I put my phone on do not disturb when I'm prospecting, but at the same time, I also have 2 cell phones. So my work cell phone isn't affected. This is just my personal cell phone that I use. Are you taking Brandon's course? No, I did do the 1 year way back in well, I shouldn't say way back, but it feels like way back 2023. But quite honestly, I had signed up for his and someone else's at the same time. The other one I had signed up with was to build a YouTube channel. And I put way more focus on that from January to September. And then my year was about to end because I only had like September, October, November, December. And so I decided to just go in there and binge watch all the videos. And then after that, I canceled in like January of 2024 because I was like, I'm done. Because realistically, 2023, I tried doing like FSBOs and expireds, and it just I was not great at it.
Continue your call in English.
I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I was a queen and taking 20, 30 FSBO and expired listings because I wasn't. And I was just like, this isn't working. I need to pivot because it's do or die, because 2023 was my hardest year. I was like, this isn't working. And that's when in November 2023, I was like, I'm just going to circle prospect. And I quit his thing. And then I just went all in on circle prospecting. And thankfully, I have an inner circle. And it's funny because now over time, we've all transitioned into circle prospecting. And now we're all doing really well. So yeah. But circle prospecting is for the most part what I do. And I was just it's literally just calling people from neighborhood search. I tried the Vulcan one. I did not like it. I don't have Vulcan. I tried it for like 2 months. What else? Yeah, and then like everything else I do, like whether it's sending cards, the business magnet, the flower seeds, all of that is just stuff that I've picked up from different people here and there. Like the flower seeds, it's from my mentor. He was like, Adela, you should if you're going to send out cards, do the flower seeds. I'm like, okay, cool. And then the magnet business cards, I remember somebody telling me about it and I was like, oh my God, I never knew that was such a thing. So I just started throwing that in there. I tried doing the automated like note cards to people, but honestly, they just didn't get traction the way that I get traction. So I just experiment, I try things, and whatever works, I just keep. And I'm still fine tuning like my systems and my processes and like the order in which I do things. So even, I don't know, 2 months from now, it might be different. We'll see. But everything I've been doing has been working terrific. So I don't want to mess it up too much. Oh yeah. Yes, this is so funny you said that. It's shocking. The people who actually call back for the most part are the people who are yelling. And I don't know about you, but they're like, who is this? Why'd you call me? What do you want? For those people, Kai, honestly, just mute your phone and put your phone down. Just trust me with that. Just like mute it, put it down. And if they start calling you again like crazy, just block them. Hello, everyone. What phone stand are you using? Oh, it's a super inexpensive phone stand I found on Amazon. It's like the magnet, you know, the magnet. I've always wanted one where I feel like a bit high enough and also lean it. So when I want to go like this, it's just perfect. It's in my description if you want to check it out. I think it's like $10. It's so cute because I like it, and then my husband liked it, and then my son liked it. So they actually have one each themselves. I got it for Christmas. I'm like, oh, here's a stocking stuffer. Yeah, I've had multiple different stands, and they're just so irritating and so clunky. But this one's nice because I can just go like this, go up and down. And the best part, which I love, is this part. So like, if not that I would put a cup on here, but at least it doesn't take away my desk space. Like even if papers are on top of it, it's just like a pole sticking out from my desk, which is nice. Do you carve out neighborhoods, or do you just do one block around the city, including the hood? No, neighborhoods. I organize it by neighborhoods. Every single time I export the data, it's according to neighborhood. So if I want to target a certain neighborhood, like let's say you have a house or a listing there, you can call that neighborhood. For me, it's all about organization. For me, it's all about simplicity and organization and clean. Like I want everything to be super clean. It doesn't have to be clunky, messy, whether it's my marketing, my website, my email, my business card, because if you've ever heard simple sells, fancy fails. So that's how I kind of even treat my CRM, and my follow-up system is like super simple, super easy. How do you set the goal on the dashboard? Good question. Just a button next to add progress. Yeah, I think I glitch when I share. Right here, it says edit next to add progress. You hit edit, and then you put it right here. And if you want to do it by week, by month, or custom, and then you hit submit. If you had to start over, like you had to move across the country, which I did, and don't know a soul there, which I did, do you think you'll get going much faster now with your current method? Yeah, I wish I'd started this from day one. I'm kind of like upset the fact that I feel like I was chasing a bone, with FSBOs and expireds. I'm like, oh my God, but the first 2 years of my career, I was chasing buyers, and it was a crazy market, and no one would tell me how to get listings. Everyone was like, go do mailers, go do an open house, go door knock. What other methods do they do? You got to
Forward it to voicemail.
do Zillow.com, do realtor.com. Like you got to buy leads. And then I remember one time at one of my old traditional brokerages, this person I used to know, she was like, I think she was signing up with Jackie Kravitz at the time or something. And she was like, oh yeah, I'm going to do this. Like, I'm going to do this cold calling thing program. I'm like, cold calling? What do you mean cold calling? She's like, yeah, you cold call for real estate leads. I'm like, that's a thing. People can do that. Like, I've worked at a call center. Maybe I can do it. And that's kind of how I got exposed. So you're very lucky to have figured this out early in your career, because I wish I had known. Had I been able to just do listings from day one, I would probably be way more successful now, I guess more successful, period. But it's okay. I will put in the work and I will be there one day. I'm a fan at your progression. Thank you. I appreciate that. We shall see. I don't even know what next year will be like or the year after that, but I just figured if I just keep working, it's all going to pay off. It all works out. And for myself, I chose to just find other realtors who are doing the same thing that I'm doing and look at their progression. So I'm kind of like, okay, well, they did it. And yes, they're 3-5 years ahead of me, but that just goes to show that it's possible. And I'm like, so if they did it, they put in the work. Mind you, you're not going to get there if you don't do the work. Like, you have to do the work. There's just no way. I don't know if you guys realize how aggressive that was and how like I kind of made a little stand like, no, you can hang up. And then she was like, well, now I'm just curious. I'm like, it's okay, I can hang up. And then she started asking me questions. She told me everything about her condo, how much she wants to sell it for, when she wants to sell it. But she did say she had a realtor. And then she started talking about how she doesn't know what's going on in the market, doesn't even know what they're selling for right now, wants me to follow up. And I was like, if you already have a realtor, especially if you're loyal to them, I ain't going to be chasing. And then all of a sudden, after 2 years of me following up, you just go ahead and list with them. That I'm not trying to be used. I'm trying to be very efficient with my time. And I want to make sure that people appreciate my work. So anyways, that could have been a lead. I was halfway, but I made sure to push her away. I always like to think I like to push people away and let them come to me rather than me going, oh, I can keep you up to date on the market. I can follow up with you. Then I'm just being a doormat. I'm like, no, I'm a professional. I work with people. If you already have someone, I'm not that desperate. I don't need the business kind of thing. You use your personal phone to make calls, yes. And your other phone to make your business calls, yes. Curious. I have 2 lines on my phone, but maybe I should have 2 phones. Very interesting. I looked into 2 lines on one phone and I just found it too complicating for my brain. And if something's too complicated, I was like, because I'm going to say I'm a pretty smart person. And I'm like, if it's too difficult for me, there's no way.
Person you were trying to reach.
I was like, there's no way. So I was like, I'm just going to bite the bullet. And I bought myself another phone and it was the best thing I could have done. And so that's pretty amazing that you have 2 lines on your phone because I couldn't even do that. That's amazing. But yeah, I have the 2 and it's great because then I can like leave my other phone, like my work phone, if I know it's like me time, like I'm at the movies, which almost never happens. I just did that. I just said that as an example. When I go on my walk in the morning, I'm like, it's me time. I don't need my work phone with me. But I take my personal cell. So I like dividing to keep myself sane. So that's why I do it. Boom. Yes, exactly. I don't know if you noticed how I told her to hang up. I'm like, it's okay, you can hang up. And then she wouldn't. I'm like, it's okay, I'll go ahead and hang up. And then she was like, I'm curious. If you see, like, I kept my composure because it's also a way of like detaching from the outcome, standing your ground, knowing you're serious without insulting, because there's nothing insulting about me hanging up when she's uncomfortable. I'm just saving her. I'm helping her. And I'll also say most cold callers want to keep the person on the phone as long as possible. So the fact that I'm like, no, I'll end this call, they're like, whoa. Like, hold on, a little too fast, Sarah. I want to hear what you have to say. I love that phone stand. I purchased it myself. Isn't it great? Don't be surprised if your family or friends start asking you for it too. I forget, I think I saw it on some YouTube influencers thing. I can't remember. But then I started going on Amazon and I don't know if it was this one or a similar one, but I just ordered this one and I'm so happy with it. So yeah, but I think for me, it's the flat feature as well that I can just like put stuff on it. If there's like a pen on it, it's not a big deal because it's still flat. I got a headset so I can look the part of a telemarketer. LOL. Whatever floats your boat. Whatever floats your boat. I myself, in case this is your first time watching me, I was in a call center to a couple different ones and we had headsets. And so even my husband, he always said, like, we're going to get you out of that headset one day. And so I promised myself I would never wear a headset again. So that's why I actually do these, my Bluetooth. normally when I'm not live, just so that way I don't have the cable strapped down. Did you buy a number on Mojo or using your own number? I buy a number on Mojo. I don't want my work cell or my personal. I don't use because it's different area code because I came from California and I'm in Florida. No one's answering a 310 area code here in South Florida. So my work cell is a local number, but I don't want to burn it or get it marked scam or spam. So I do use a number on Mojo. I pay for that. I have two, just $10 a month. And if you're calling, you want to ease the phone number into it. You don't want to just get the number and start calling like crazy because you'll mark yourself as spam, and make sure to whitelist it. How many hours a week do you cold call? Very interesting question. So I challenged myself to do 90-day challenge. I know there are some of you who've decided to hop on the bandwagon, which I really appreciate because now I don't feel alone and so crazy, but it's so hard. I'm on day 15 and I'm just doing it because I've already had a successful quarter 1 that I'm like, okay, now I have nothing to lose. I'm just going to go super crazy and call like crazy. Normally when I do these lives, it's 2 hours, although Sunday, Monday, I'm trying to keep it down to 1 because Sunday, Monday are the days I don't call. That's for many reasons. Monday being my content day, as well as Monday is the day a lot of people want my attention. All my clients of my current business need me and want me. So I make myself available. And it's the day I usually do like photos and videos. So like I have $1 million condo we're putting on the market. So we did the photos and the video for that yesterday. The photos took like an hour and a half and the video took about 2.5. So that was a very, very busy day. And I still showed up yesterday and still made calls. But I will tell you my monthly is like, I don't know, about a week. So this is what I've done so far since April 15th, which is 22 hours and 50 minutes out of 40. So this is my month goal. My month goal is 40 hours, calls 5,350 conversations and 25 leads. So pretty much about halfway, roughly. Some are more, some are less, some are more, some are less. And then appointments set 6. I've done 3 so far, and I have a listing right here, which I have to scan and upload and email them a copy. So yeah. And those are just kind of my numbers. Yes, I differentiate the 2 lines. Mark, one is P for personal, B for business, but I do like the idea of 2 phones. Thank you for your input. Awesome. Yeah, it's kind of nice. Especially now that my husband is trying to help me in like certain things. It's nice when I can just like hand him the phone and I'm like, here, do this. Instead of it, I can like have my phone and he has the phone. It's kind of like the office work phone or something. Okay, so check this out. I found out that if you have an Apple phone, it could be reported as spam, and Apple will lock your iPhone if reported as spam, and they would just unlock it one time after being reported as spam. That's very interesting. I would actually say that can happen more than anything I would imagine if you're using your actual number. I don't use my work cell on Mojo, and I use my personal cell, and I use the Mojo number, but I could totally see that happening when realtors text expireds or FSBOs because they're afraid to call. And so they end up using like their work cell, because I know some people that has happened, and then their iMessages or their text messages don't go out, and it's like a whole ordeal, like a 2-week thing with Apple support. And just be mindful. Like, I know there's a lot of people who are afraid of cold calling, and then they revert to just like cold emailing or cold texting or
Call has been forwarded to voicemail.
dropping off a letter in the mailbox. All of those have repercussions, and all of those have rules and regulations, and there's laws for every little thing that you do. So I could totally understand why somebody would just send out a bunch of text messages because they don't want to talk on the phone. And then Apple iPhone, anytime it's a text that comes in, it like gives you the option to report spam or junk. Yeah, I will actually say that I'm one of those where if I get a message and it just looks spammy, I will do the report as spam and junk. And if that happens so many times, I could totally see that happening. And there's a lot of rules, regulations around text. Like you can't be text spamming people, just FYI. Thank you, Nancy, for clarifying. I never knew that. I actually always wanted to, and I was like, I can't figure this out. I was pretty impressed you did. That's awesome. I was just like, I'm just going to buy 2 phones. It seems so much easier. This is how I know I knew, because watching you being so willing to hang up, I'm like, you're losing a potential lead. LOL. No, you're putting too much. No. And that's going to show even when you meet them in person. They're going to be like, oh God, he's so desperate. Yeah. I mean, I've been doing this consistently since September 6, 2023. So it's a year and a half of me just like calling on the daily. Like, this is my job. I tell my husband, this is my job. This is my job. Actually, it's more my business. I don't have a job. You can't see this as a job, but I have to work harder for myself and my business than working for anybody else. That's the way I see it. All I'm doing is sifting and looking for a needle in a haystack. And when people realize you're not just some like desperate telemarketer, they're like, you're just like, I have nothing to lose. They can tell. They just really can tell. And all that comes to just tonality. I don't know. You mentioned before that you actually don't do redels, right? Just move on to the next neighborhood, even if you got a lot of voicemails. For the most part, yeah. You mentioned before that you actually don't do redels. I don't. Like, call them back, I guess. I don't. Just move on to the next neighborhood, even if you get a lot of voicemails. Yeah, I don't even listen to the voicemails. I actually just delete them. I used to call them and it led to nothing. You know what? There was a comment you had made, and then I was like, did I read that right? Or was he referring to something else? Yeah, I'm the sole provider. I'm curious. I understand you're the sole provider, but I don't know if you're the sole, like,
The call has been forwarded to voicemail.
homemaker as well, which is like a double duty, at least for myself. And this was one of the things I had with a previous coach. I had asked, I was like, okay, I understand you're a sole provider, but do you also run the house? Do you also take care of the kids? Like, do you also like cook and clean? Do you also, just like do everything under the sun and your business? And it's just, I completely understand. And there is no other income coming in for us. Like, this is it. This is the only income stream we have. So if you're in that boat, I feel you. And let me tell you, it used to be a lot of sad moments in my life that I was like, oh my God, I'm not going to make it. I'm not going to, am I going to have to go get a job? But thank goodness with my husband's support, he was like, no, you got this. Like, I could see it. You're going to do great. Don't give up. We can do it. So it was hard, and thankfully through blind faith, massive action, calling like there's no tomorrow, every day, showing up and just getting that experience as fast as I could is what really got me to the other side. So it's all up to you, what you want to do for your family. Your schedule is from 9 to 10:30. Yeah, after my kids go to bed, I work. That's when I do, like tonight, I'll be editing the pictures from the photo shoot. My husband right now is doing the editing of the video, but then I'll probably stay up working on the description for the listing property. He'll work on doing the MLS data entry. And then sometimes I'll just like work on my website because I put all my listings on my website. So a lot of like content creation that in my case I can't do on Mondays now, or like I've been busy lately. Then I just do a lot of the computer. Like, if I don't have to call, if I don't have to text, if I don't have to email, and I don't have to talk to a client, then it becomes, what can I do? Because I'm not staying up watching TV. I haven't watched the news in years, probably like 10 years. I've just detached myself because all of that that's on the news is out of my control. I can't save people, that are in another country. Unfortunately, I'm not there. Like, it's out of my control. So I rather just keep that away. And it's okay if you disagree with me. That's just how I see my world. I have my family to support. This is my home. This is my bubble, you know. I don't really watch movies. I don't listen to music. I listen to books. I was listening to Russell Brunson, Traffic Secrets on my walk. And then if not, I'm listening to Daryl Eves on YouTube. If not, I'm listening to Daniel Priestley. If not, I'm listening to Myron Golden. If not, I'm listening to Brendan Kane. Is it Kane from the Hook Point? So I'm work. Hello, ha 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 ha. Yes. I was like, is this a voicemail? You know those voicemails? I don't know if they still do. Well, some people still do it because I get the voicemails where they're like, hello, ha ha ha, got you. Leave a voicemail after the beep. Burp. I'm like, seriously, it's 2025. Are we still doing that right now? But the voicemails that, how shall I say? That was so sweet. She was so nice. That was like a $3.8 million home. I have a couple multi-million dollar leads, which would be really nice to pop off like next year or something. So we'll see. Actually, there's like this $7 million lead I got, and it was really interesting. I don't think I ever did it on my live because it was months ago. Maybe it was December or January. I don't know. Maybe it was on a live. Okay, so 10 conversations in an hour and 11 minutes. Noelle, tell them, no, I'm not interested. There you go. I like that attitude. There we go. Be like, no, not a problem. Gotta go. I got another one to sell. Oh, you don't want to sell? Not a problem. Got another one. I don't know. Say something. What was it they recommended? They were like, oh, maybe I should ask if they know of any friends or family. And I get it. Like, I understand. I could be like, oh, you don't happen to know of anybody else thinking about selling or whatever. But I don't know. I kind of feel sometimes like I'd rather just talk to the person. So I don't ask that question. Should I avoid those high price? You know what? I actually did avoid high price neighborhoods when I was new, just because I felt like I needed to get the nerves and the practice and the rhythm and the consistency in place. Now that I'm more comfortable, I'm like, I could call anyone. And sometimes I'm curious if I should have just gone for it, but it's up to you. Like, if you feel comfortable calling, then do it. I'm not going to say avoid it because you never know. Maybe someone's like, oh my God, what a hardworking realtor. Like, he just called me out of the blue. And, I was planning on selling in 2 months and, my realtor retired. Might as well come over. So totally up to you if you want to. I got a lead. I need a button. Like, woo, whatever. Boom. Hey, Jean Masso, you caught that. All right. That was awesome. Woo, woo. She even told me, she's like, please drop me off your business card in the mail. I'm like, that's exactly what I was going to say. And she also, I confirmed. I always like to confirm, especially my Mojo. Sometimes, like, if you notice, there's a little logo of a house or a cell phone. This one said a house. That's why I clarified, like, did I catch you on your home phone? And then she told me, no, it's a cell phone. So that's when I said, okay, I'm going to text you my information. She's like, oh, even better. All right. Where was I? Chicken dinner. Yes. Winner, chicken dinner. I use dial pad to call out to Mojo. I'm not sure how that works. I've heard of dial pad. I don't really know what it does other than maybe text. Do you text from there? Oh, look at Blair. Wait, did you beat me? Did you beat me, Blair? Or did we get that at the same time? I feel like we got that at the same time. Let's call it a tie. How about that? Y'all's ever experimented with different call times? I have. My favorite is 10 to 12, 2 to 4, and 4 to 6. Especially for circle prospecting. And quite honestly, I like it because it works for our family schedule. Calling FSBOs expireds was like way too much, where you have to like get up early and start calling at 7:30 and you're like stressed. And For me, I was like, I got to take the kids to school. I got to go work out. Like, I got to eat breakfast. I'm sorry, I'm not going to get up at 4:30 in the morning and go work out. I'm going to be too tired to work the rest of the day. So yeah. So you can try it, but those are my times. Thank you, Jean. I think it was the same time because I was hearing you talking to that person when I was talking to my person. Woo, we got a lead. That is awesome. Okay, if you're planning on doing this for real estate and you get 0 leads on a day, don't be so hard on yourself. It's okay. But you have to practice on the skills, listening, tonality, how you open up the call, being confident, hang up. If they're yelling at you, you do not have to overcome every single objection and twist someone's arm, because you have to come from a place of empathy and compassion. You have to realize that we are straight up interrupting people's day. And if they get pissy, it's okay. They don't want to talk to us, it's okay. Go on to the next one. It's not going to hurt our wallet. All we're doing is trying to collect and sift and find needles in haystacks of people who want and who need our help and who want to talk to us. And that's all I base all of my success on, because these people, you start giving and nurturing and taking care of them, and they reciprocate, and then they call you and they're like, oh, I'm ready to list. I'm ready to sell. Can you please come over? So that's just how I do it. I can't imagine it any other way. How many leads actually convert to a listing for you? Great question. I have to get my data. But at the end of the day, it's a funnel. So you put you put your time in, you make your calls, you have calls, you get leads, you meet them, you go on appointments, right? Which really are more like meet and greets for me now. They're so casual, and you nurture them, and then they become listings, and then they become like a sale. So it's like a complete, right? Like call, like, why am I like crooked? I don't know. Call, contacts, leads, meet with people, listing, and then get them under contract, and then sale. Like, it all, just because you get like, say, 30 listings in a year doesn't mean you're going to sell all 30. You might sell 20. So even from that moment of like a lead to a listing, just because it's a listing doesn't mean it's going to sell. So so if you plan on having like, say, 2 listings close or 2 sales closed a month, that means you have to close 24, which probably means you got to get 30, 35, maybe. I don't know. Because I've never done that volume yet. I did 10 transactions last year, which led me to 101 GCI. Have, whether it's a tool shop, a tire shop, a bake, a cake, a cookie, whatever store, an apparel store, you're going to look at your numbers in your sales. So I highly recommend, if you're going to use Mojo, look at your numbers on the weekly and then the monthly. And then once you have monthly data, look back and start realizing, how many hours did I call? How many leads did I get? How many conversations did I have? So that way you can start tracking to figure out in your own market how many contacts it takes to get you a lead. I think for this year, it was either like 1 out of 13 or 1 out of, I think it was 1 out of 13. Was it 1 out of 16? I'm 1 lead for every 13.5 contacts. So for every 13.5 contacts, I end up with a lead. So that's my lead contact to lead ratio. And so you're going to want to know, yours might be lower, yours might be higher. The more conversations and skills you get, contact lead will get lower, not significantly, because we are in different markets. And I feel like, weren't you in Dallas, Kai? I feel like you would have a higher contact to lead. Yeah, I feel like, I mean, there's certain markets where it might be, I feel like the worst that I've heard from other people who circle prospect. Oh, Houston. Yeah, I thought so. Houston. I feel like you would have a really good, like, Houston's popular. You know what I mean? It's not like a neighborhood in, I don't know, somewhere in the Midwest that doesn't really have a lot of transient people coming in all the time. So you might, but the worst I've ever heard is like 1 lead per 20. And if you're going to call for 2 hours and you get 10 conversations an hour, that's already 20. So you should already be getting one lead a day if you're having 20 conversations. But don't be surprised, and there might be some days where you have 0. But at the same time, there are days where all of a sudden I get 2 a day, and then like 3 on some days. I'm like, whoa, today's popping off. Today's, doing really well. Like people laugh or they let you speak when you say what she says. Just give it a try. You're so sweet. You're so sweet. Yeah, and it's so funny because I feel like today I've been kind of switching my script around, or like what I say. Like today I'm like, it's okay. Do you want to hang up? Like, do you want to hang up? Just hang up. But at the same time, I intentionally and consciously, as Jeremy Miner says, use my face, or maybe as a Vin Jiang from Australia, I use my face as a remote. So when I'm like scrunching, I'm doing it on purpose. So my voice actually projects what I'm saying, because there's absolutely no way you're going to pretend you're embarrassed if you're like, oh yeah, I was just calling it a blue. You're probably going to hate me. I'm a realtor. Do you want to hang up? There's like no emotion. It sounds terrible. Question, Zach. So this is exactly why I'm showing people the single line. If you probably watched like my lives from last month for March, I was like doing double line dialer. I hardly do triple sometimes when I feel like jumping in. The only thing I don't like is it burns through numbers really fast. I can get the same amount of contacts, if not more, which is shocking. The single line dialer compared to the triple, it really depends. Like sometimes it's the day, sometimes it's the time of day, sometimes it's the like if you're on Wi-Fi or Mojo's acting out. I'm right now on single line dialer, and I would say I've been on the single line dialer for maybe the last 2 weeks, but more than anything, maybe the last like 7 days. So if you'll go back and notice, like I've been getting leads. So even the single line dialer works in case you want to like be budget conscious and just like work on the single line dialer and ease your number into it if you're just starting. Or maybe if you work full-time or part-time, no need to be spending extra when you can get the job done on a single line dialer. So I'm doing single line dialer. I am at 17 conversations. It's been 1 hour and 52 minutes with 1 lead. And I always like to say minimum is 7 contacts an hour. That's like your minimum. If you hit 10 in an hour, terrific. If you do more, even better. But if I can get like to 20 in the next 7 minutes, and I don't know if all 3 people will realistically answer, but even at 17, I'm already at 8.5 for the hour. So this is actually really good. But you need a lot of leads to get to listings. And the only way you're going to get leads is by taking action. That's cold calling, just sitting in the chair and making your dials. Yeah, that's what I said. I was like, what? I mean, I know Sergio, he's up in Wisconsin. He's already getting a listing. And I think he may have done it. He was doing it this week. They called him. It was actually from his, maybe he should tell his story, but I think he had sent the handwritten note card, but he'd actually just texted them because he forgot to text. And then they were like, hey, can you come over? We want to meet. And then he went and met with them. So that's super exciting. That's quick results. I've never gotten that fast of results. And I told him, I'm like, oh my God, you should totally cold call like crazy. He could totally take over that market. It has been 15 days straight and I am getting busy. I have a listing here. I had them sign this morning, so I got to scan this and send it to the homeowners. Another one coming up. I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.